Hey, Brandon here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. It is the 2025 Rookie Summer Scouting time here on the YouTube channel. It's early June, and my podcast co-host and I, Jason DiRienzo, we are looking at all of the exciting rookies that you'll be drafting in your rookie drafts in 2025. And I'm excited about this one, man. We are going to take a look at Oklahoma State true junior this fall, Ollie Gordon II, man, one of the most productive running backs in college football. People are excited about this guy, man. I'm seeing him mocked in the first round. Well, what do? We go back and watch the All-22 film from the 2023 season, and we watched his Texas game, his game versus Houston, as well as his game versus Kansas. And we actually made a video breaking down every play. If you want access to that, hit me up via email below for a 2-week subscription to my dashboard subscription where I have it posted for my subscribers. Unfortunately, I can't post all 22 films on this YouTube channel. I almost got taken down because of it, so I've got to put it behind a paywall. So if you're interested, man, hit me up for a 2-week subscription. It's pretty cool. But anyway, man, we're going to break it down. You play Devy, C2C. You most likely have Ollie Gordon II on your roster, and pretty excited about him as a potential Dynasty asset next year and an early rookie pick. So hit that subscribe button. If you play Dynasty Fantasy, you're looking for a YouTube channel out there that's going to give you an early look at the 2025 draft class from a rookie standpoint. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to the show. Good stuff. Are you ready, Jason, to get to our buy, hold, or buy, sell, and hold segment of the show?
Oh, you know I am. Let's do it.
All right, we're going to talk about Ollie Gordon the second. All right, we watched the All-22 film. We watched his Texas game. We watched his Houston game. We watched his Kansas game. So we're going to give you the stats. We're going to give you some draft projection. We're going to give you some tape grades. We're going to have some fun with this. But he's 6'1", 211-pound true junior coming into the 2024 season. Really, as a freshman at Oklahoma State, he only got 49 carries, averaged 5.3 yards a carry. And then in 2023, he had a breakout season, right? 245 attempts, 1,580 yards, 6.4 average. He did have 2 fumbles, 20 touchdowns. He was the 2023 Doak Walker Award winner for college football with the most rushing yards in football. So he's getting some draft buzz right now. A lot of people are high on Ollie Gordon, and we're going to tell you guys what our feelings are, here very shortly, if we think he is a buy, sell, and hold. And you and we have not discussed this at all. Well, I don't know what your feeling is. We're going to give you some player comps. I can't wait to hear your comp because the comp just screamed at me when we were kind of watching his film. So we had some fun. So a couple PFF grades I kind of wanted to kind of throw out there, looking at his career statistics. All right. So yards after contact, he was 3.77 per attempt. That ranked 36 from PFF, his grades. And I kind of filtered it where it was running backs that had a at least a minimum of 100 rushing attempts. So we ranked 36 over that. And his elusive rating was 58th. So it was interesting. So elusive rating. I think after watching the film, I think when we get to his tape grades, you're going to we're going to talk about that, right? But he got a huge workload this year, man. He got the rock a ton. 245 attempts is a lot for a running back. So, those statistics you can see piled up because, he certainly was fed the rock a lot. So we watched the film, Jason. Before we get into his tape grades, what was your overall assessment? I mean, just the Ollie Gordon right now. I mean, we're at the beginning of June. He's getting, I love watching the mock drafts. I love seeing the mock drafts, and I see him mocked in the first round of the NFL draft and like a day 2 lock. So I'm curious, after we watched the film, we watched those 3 games in all 22, a lot of carries. What was your overall assessment of his game before we get into the tape grades?
I mean, first off, 1,580 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 2 fumbles. I mean, that's a very productive season, let alone the 33 receptions, 272 yards, as a receiver.
Yeah.
That's big time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I understand the hype around it. But when you watch the film, it tells a little bit of a different story. There's a lot to like, but there's also a lot to be concerned with the projection to the next level. So the one thing I did like was the subtle footwork that he had between the trenches. When he saw that he could kind of hit the steps and navigate his way through the trenches, which is, the jab steps and the subtle footwork. He did a great job of that. Being patient at times, allowing his offensive linemen to develop and open the gaps up for him. He took advantage of those. The part that I did not like about that was he didn't show the burst and urgency that I wanted when a gap developed. When there was a gap that was open, he either didn't see it or he got really kind of passive with hitting that gap when he
Mhm.
saw a defender kind of pursuing into it. And when he did end up taking the gap, we just didn't see him lower his pads and really want to take that defender on and, get that lower pad level. And I think that is going to hinder him as well. But the biggest thing that I take away is his pass catching ability. That
Mhm.
is going to be something that is going to help him tremendously as far as his value in fantasy, and it's going to be something that's going to help him get on the field. And you mentioned something as bad as blocking ability, so I'll kind of let you go into that part.
Yeah, I think his blocking overall was pretty solid. I mean, there was times where he kind of lacked effort, at times, but
Hmm.
there were times where, he squared up, took on a rushing linebacker square on. So I think that's going to be a feather in his cap at the next level. And I was remiss going over his statistics, his receiving profile, which is pretty solid. I mean, he caught 11 balls as a freshman and 33 this year with 4 touchdowns. So as we watch those films, the all 22 films, and again, you guys, if you want to see them, hit me up, and we post them on our dashboard with all our analysis for that. Um, he's a good pass catcher out of the backfield. He's going to be a great safety valve. And we didn't see a lot of vertical running plays down the field, but I think he's going to be very serviceable around the line of scrimmage and bailing out the quarterbacks and making he made himself available in a lot of plays that we had seen. So yeah, but like you said, his pass blocking was good. Well, and I agree with you. I mean, does he, me and sweet feet, right? Do you have sweet feet or beat feet? I don't think he's got either of them. I think he's somewhere in the middle. I mean, we saw, especially at the early part of the line of scrimmage, where his ability to navigate and make guys miss, because you got to create space as a running back, right? I mean, the idea is that the offensive line is going to give you your first 5 to 6 yards, but after that, you got to create on your own. I think at the second level with him running with like acceleration, I'm not sure he's got the ability to really, dead leg and make guys miss, which you want to see. But at that frame, 6'1", 211 pounds, he's a bigger guy. He's got like long legs, so you can kind
Hmm.
of see that when you watch. But I think the biggest thing for me in, thinking that, he's the RB1 I see on X a lot for a lot of analysts out there right now. I mean, I don't even think he's close in my book for a running back one. Was I think the biggest thing that you and I saw that I came away with was, how much I value physicality. And I feel like, he didn't have that pad level, right? He didn't have that ability to, didn't seem like he wanted to take on those defenders and really, lay a lick on them. And yeah, that kind of is concerning for me because either you like contact in this game, or you don't. And I'm not sure I got a vibe that he really likes to really push and fight for every yard. And I think the NFL values that. And they just want tough physical football players, and I guess the question too, we didn't really bring up is his long speed. He's got that short area quickness around the line of scrimmage a little bit. Not great, but I think above average probably. But he doesn't have that long breakaway speed. But a guy at 6'1", 211, you're not expecting him to have that. And I think you and I are on the same page. We don't value that certainly high for running backs. So, I mean, overall, I mean, it was great watching the films. I think we got a really good feel of what we're looking for in the summer scouting here, of what we're looking for him to improve on. And I think that's probably a little better initiation, acceleration, a little bit more physicality, especially when he's getting tackled. So we got another whole year of football left, and I know people are excited to see if we've got a buy, sell, or hold on this guy. But before we get there, let's talk about his tape grades. All right, these are the traits that you and I talk about when we grade our players: vision and patience. We're going to grade him 1 through 5. I've got a 3. I think we saw on film there were times where he did make a nice cutback. I'm thinking though that was probably 50-50 where he left a lot of opportunity cost on the floor on the table with missing some ability. I think he's got to be a little bit more patient and really have better eyes looking forward.
Yeah, I think the patience is there, but the vision and the mental processing is just a little bit too slow. And there are some times on the film that you and I saw where he was just kind of dancing a little bit too much.
Mhm.
So he needs to just make a decision and commit to it and execute it. So I have him as a 3. I think it's just average with the vision and patience.
Yeah, I do too. Footwork and short area quickness. Like I said, I love the term sweet feet. Doesn't have sweet feet. I gave him a 3. I think he's got the ability to navigate around the line of scrimmage.
Mhm.
But I don't see someone who does it consistently. So we're going to be looking for that in the 2024 film of him being able to have, better ability to make guys miss, especially in the second level, and navigate a little better in that short area quickness for me. So I gave him a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Short area quickness, I wanna see more of too. I just did really like the subtle, fluid footwork that he had when he was running up the middle between the trenches, taking advantage of some of those developing gaps. I thought that was pretty good.
Acceleration and speed, I gave him a 3 out of 5. Like I said, I think he showed some burst and acceleration at the line of scrimmage, but then there was a lot of times where I felt like once he got through the line of scrimmage and had the ability to really make some wow moment runs. I mean, he made wow moment runs. Obviously, he ran for 16 something hundred yards, right?
Right,
But the films that
right.
we watched, there was a lot of times where I just don't think that you know, he doesn't have that speed, and it seems like either you and I maybe aren't like thinking that top end speed's really exciting, but at the same time, I think the NFL might feel differently. They probably, he doesn't have that long speed where he's going to break away guys.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple breakaways that we saw in the game, but he did get rammed down, and you can kinda see the limitation there. But it's not the end all be all, and I completely
Mhm.
agree with you. I have it as a 3 as well, and I think it's average. Maybe this season we see it become above average with some off-field or off-season training, who knows?
Strength and contact balance, I gave him a 2.5 out of 5. I really gave him a low grade on this because you know how much I value physicality. And on that
Mhm.
film, there were 5, 6, 7 plays where he turns at point of contact instead of being square, and his contact balance when the defender gets his hands on him, there were too many times where he twists around, and I feel like he gives up and and allows himself to get tackled. So that's something that is probably the biggest thing that I'm going to be looking for in the 2024 film. I need to see a better point of contact, better pad level, better physicality, better toughness. I want to see Brian Robinson type finish runs on a regular basis in 2024.
6'1" over 210 pounds, that's exactly what I wanna see too, and I agree with you. I just wanted to see a little bit more functional strength, and I wanted to see him be more tenacious,
Yeah,
be more physical when taking on defenders and not try to, get passive and scared when you see a peeking linebacker in the gap, like, take that dude on, square up your shoulders,
exactly.
take him on. I That's the improvement I think both of us wanna see next season.
Yeah, he's not a finesse runner. He's a power runner at that size,
Right, right.
right? So
Yeah.
receiving, I gave him a 4 out of 5. And the only reason I didn't give him a 5 is because we didn't really see on film any vertical ability to catch the ball. But I think he's going to be a great pass catcher out of the backfield. Probably will elevate his draft stock, I would have to think.
Yeah, I would think too, and I have a 4 as well.
Okay, great. All right, draft capital. Let's talk about some draft capital. I think he's a day two guy, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe if he doesn't improve on the things that we've talked about here, if he doesn't find himself day or round four, like an early day three. So I'm kind of borderline day two, early day three right now. I don't think he's a round one guy. I don't care what mock drafts say. I think the people that are doing him in round one mocks are simply looking that he rushed more yards than anybody, and they haven't
Mhm.
watched the film like we've watched.
Yeah, I mean, with the NFL being as picky as they are with the running back position, there's no way I see him as a round 1, so I don't really understand that. But round 2 or 3, depending upon how he's gonna fit in the scheme with an NFL team, like, I get it. I think he's more of a mid to late 3rd round type of prospect in that back end, almost like Marshawn Lloyd was going to the Packers, like that range. I think I feel good about that.
All right, listen, I sent you the films and I said, I can't wait to hear your comp because I'm going to
Mhm.
save mine. Who was your comp for this
Okay.
guy? Who's your comp for this guy?
Yeah, it was tough, man. It actually was really tough, but when I watched him, I saw a bit of Tony Pollard. Now, the box score
Mm,
in college is gonna be night and day. Tony Pollard did not have the box score type of production, but the running style where, I don't think they're creative runners. I don't think they take on contact with physicality. They just kind of take what's given to them and, they do a solid job of it and show the pass catching ability. I saw a lot of Tony Pollard in what Ollie Gordon is, so Tony Pollard is my comp.
well, interesting. I had Braylon Allen. I had Braylon
Interesting.
Allen. I did. I know Braylon Allen's a little bigger and thicker, but I came away. You and I, we watched a lot of Braylon Allen in 2023, right? And you and
Mhm.
I were not high on him because of the same reasons that we just saw with Ollie
Big running
Gordon.
back, lack of physicality.
Lack of physicality,
Is
lack of
that what it was?
ability to make yeah, lack of,
Yeah,
make
I can
guys
see it.
miss, and I think you and I were right with Braylon Allen. A lot of guys love Braylon Allen because of his size, and he's 20 years old, and now he's buried on the Jets. I mean, he may still be a nice backup and a contributor on a committee, but man, I mean, and it's not a comp because he wears number 0 and the white arm pads down his elbows, all right? Just so
Let's
everyone
just get
knows,
that
okay?
out
And just let's
of the way.
get that out of the way, okay? No, I'm talking about a player who, for his size, should be out there dominating and punishing defenders. And I just don't see that with Ollie Gordon the way he plays the game right now. So,
You know, I get that. I will say this too. It wouldn't surprise me if he's actually more like 203 or 204. Because usually a running back is heavier, you see it in the lower body. He
mhm.
doesn't have that lower body thickness, and his legs are kind of long, which I think impacts his pad level. It wouldn't surprise me if he comes in under 210,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah. And he might just not have that build to be an effective,
Right,
in
exactly.
between
Yep.
the running tackles. Okay. All right. Buy, sell, hold. I'm going to leave it up to you, my friend. What you got? What you got? Come on.
Oh, I'm selling all day long.
God
All day long.
damn
I
you.
mean, the value right now, are you kidding me?
Yes.
With the way that the NFL values running backs? Oh, I'm moving it for whatever I can at this point.
Oh, dude, you're killing me. I thought you were going to do a
I
hold so
know.
I could be the sell. I want to be the sell.
Well, you should have went first.
I know. I guess I should have, right? That's
I mean,
great. Yeah.
this one's kinda easy, wouldn't you
Yeah.
say? I mean,
It is. It
it's pretty
is.
self-explanatory.
Yeah, it really is. I got to be a sell too, man. I mean, listen, if
Yeah.
he's getting first round, I mean, there's people on X saying RB1. Every time there's a highlight of this guy, RB1, RB1, you cash out. I mean, shit, you could get, uh, ETN and, Trevor ETN, you know what I mean? Plus, you could get, if there's
Right.
another running back, you could get an incoming freshman plus. So, I saw Braylon Allen last year. We did a buy, we did a sell show last year, a buy and sell, and I actually sold Braylon Allen. I think I got a Marion Hampton and Benjamin Hall from Michigan or something like that. But yeah, so take advantage, man. Summer, this is what summer's all about. We're gonna do the summer
Yep.
scouting for you guys. You can like then make a decision. But if you got Ollie Gordon, you can go on my dashboard if you want to check it out and you can watch for yourself and scout it for yourself. I spent probably an hour and a half cutting up all this film for you guys. So, all right, man, there you have it, guys. There is our buy, sell, and hold for Ollie Gordon. Next week, I think we are going to do some Isaiah Bond. I'm excited to talk
Mm.
about him next week. So,